This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
For the first time in U.S. history, the House has voted to remove its speaker. About 1 hour ago, the House voted 216 to 210 to oust Representative Kevin McCarthy. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
I'm Ann Allred, in for Mike Bush. Representative Patrick Mahenry, a Republican from North Carolina, is now acting as Speaker. The effort to remove McCarthy was led by GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz. Gaetz says he's not happy with McCarthy's leadership. This follows debate over a government spending bill to avoid a shutdown, and today lawmakers spent an hour debating whether to remove the Speaker. While most lawmakers within his own party supported him, 8 voted to remove him.
Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word.
Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush says she could not vote today because of a medical procedure. She says she supports removing McCarthy. The House will now need to elect a new speaker. And we'll continue to follow this story on air and online at KSTK.com. There will also be more coverage right after this newscast on NBC Nightly News.
Now to a developing story in downtown St. Louis. City leaders have asked people at a homeless camp outside City Hall to leave. But tonight, some of those tents are still there. The city initially planned to remove the camp last night, but delayed that action until this afternoon.
Our Justina Cornell has been at the camp all day. And Justina, how many people are still out there? They got word late last night this was going to happen.
Yeah, so some people have left and we're still seeing some tents out here. Now, I just want to show you a picture, just describe a little bit of what I'm seeing out here. We see suitcases, purses, leftover cereal, broken down tents. Now, the city leaders have told people they can either stay or go, and from there they'll decide. That's up to them. But if they do decide to stay, well, there is a curfew tonight because this is a city park, and that will happen at 10 o'clock, and then they will be forced to leave during that time. Now, just a few hours ago, we did speak to the director, Adam Pearson, with the Department of Human Services. Pearson said they've been able to secure 50 beds at shelters and hotels in the city and county. Now, outreach workers were on site today working to find transitional housing, transportation, and storage resources for these people. City leaders said that this hard decision was made because of safety concerns, including dozens of EMS calls and overdoses and seizures. Now, there have been fights and yelling at city workers. Just today, this morning, we watched one person throw a punch at another. But we've also seen pedestrians walking by yelling at the homeless community. Many organizations have been here helping, from the New Life Evangelistic Center, St. Patrick's, Urban League, and the Arch City Defenders.
I've been doing this for about 10 years as an eviction defense attorney. The eviction numbers are as high as I've ever seen in my career. And certainly that's tracking national data. It's not unique to St. Louis, but we are at an absolute crisis of housing instability.
The Department of Human Services director also tells us that last night at 10 o'clock that they realized that these shelters had curfew, so it was really hard to move those people during that time. That's why they said they delayed it to today so they can have people here to provide the proper resources. Reporting in downtown St. Louis, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
New at 5, a Lyft driver will spend more than a decade in prison for kidnapping and raping one of his passengers. Larry Ward was sentenced today for the 2019 crime in downtown St. Louis.
The victim, who was in court today, believes the rideshare company failed to keep her safe. Our Christine Byers was in the courtroom and spoke with the victim after the sentencing. Christine.
Ann and Kelly, I can tell you I've never seen a judge get emotional on the bench. But today, after hearing Kristen Giangara's emotional impact statement, Judge Scott Milliken had to pause to collect himself before he sentenced her rapist to 12 years behind bars. It happened June 22nd, 2019, when Giangara called the rideshare company Lyft to take her home from a bachelorette party in downtown St. Louis. Larry Ward was the driver, and he was a felon. Giangara is suing Lyft, alleging that the company cut corners when it checked Ward's criminal background, allowing him to work for the company despite warning signs in his criminal history. In court Tuesday, Ward said nothing when he was given the chance. Giangara read a 3-page statement talking about how the attack has forever changed her life.
I never wanted him to die in prison. I was very clear on that from the beginning. I just wanted a consequence, and I wanted accountability, and I wanted to move on.
Now, Giangara's civil suit against the rideshare company is still pending. To read more from Giangara's victim impact statement and the advice she has for other survivors, Check out my story on KSDK.com.
Fire crews are looking into a fire that damaged businesses in Granite City. This happened overnight on Washington Avenue between 25th and 26th Streets. There's a dog groomer, upholstery shop, and apartments attached to the building. Residents were evacuated until the fire was under control. A firefighter was also taken to the hospital for a minor medical issue.
Right now, Illinois State Police are asking for your help locating the vehicle involved in a crash resulting in an anhydrous ammonia leak. 5 people died in the crash, including a Franklin County pastor.
This crash happened just outside of Teutopolis along Route 40 in between Effingham and Montrose on Friday night. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer has the latest developments in the investigation. Diamond?
Good evening, Ann and Kelly. The make and model of the car is still unknown at this time, but Illinois State Police say they're looking for a dark-colored vehicle that was potentially involved in this accident. Today, ISP's investigation revealed the car was traveling west through Teutopolis on Highway 40 and would have passed the semi-truck trailer involved in this accident. Video here shows the vehicle passing through the intersection of Highway 40 and Spring Creek Road in Montrose, Illinois. Today, members of the St. Peter's United Christian Church in New Haven talked with me about losing their pastor to this crash. Dr. Dan Smith had been a pastor at the church since last year and was installed as a permanent pastor this year in July. Members tell me he was in Effingham with a friend to watch a high school football game. They also tell me they still have unanswered questions about how this accident happened.
Yeah, there are questions. Will the answers to those questions bring Dan back? Will it bring back those others who lost their life that evening, or those others who are still struggling in the hospital with the repercussions? Answers don't change that. And so I think the important thing is that we fall back on our faith.
Gilbert says Smith's sister is heading to New Haven today to make funeral arrangements. Residents in Teutopolis were evacuated due to the leak, but were allowed to return home Sunday evening.
Nearly 1 week after Expand and the United Auto Workers strike, more automakers are laying off employees. GM and Ford are laying off 500 more workers. GM layoffs are in Ohio and Indiana. The company already laid off more than 1,000 workers at a plant in Kansas. Ford layoffs are in Chicago and Ohio. Stellantis has also made its own layoffs since the strike. Workers are asking for a 40% raise, shorter work weeks, and traditional pensions.
The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office has made another new hire. Retired Missouri Supreme Court Justice George Draper III is the new Chief Training Officer, so he'll train and coach attorneys in the office. He also worked for the Circuit Attorney's Office between '84 and '94. He was appointed as the first Black associate judge in St. Louis County's 21st Judicial Circuit. He also worked for the Missouri Court of Appeals and was appointed to the state Supreme Court in 2011. Draper will start his new job on October 23rd.
A missing child abducted in New York is found safe. How police found the man charged in her kidnapping.
The president's son pleads not guilty to federal gun charges. The strategy Hunter Biden's legal team is now taking.
A Facebook scam is targeting sellers. Our I-team exposes the simple questions that could give away your personal info.
And our weather is becoming more active. A good chance of rain in here, likely by tomorrow night. Maybe some thunder, much cooler, couple fronts. And guess what? Some of us in the 30s by Sunday morning. More on the forecast coming up.